You know, probably one thing I did want to ask you about before we get into more of that, just off the bat, just Tim Bradley, Manny Pacquiao 3-man, it just happened. Just your overall thoughts, man. We talked to a lot of people in Vegas, but I wanted to get your opinion, man, on just what you saw in there, what you thought.
You know, I thought it was a little closer than the judges had it, but I thought the right guy won the fight. I don't think it was as spread out as it seemed on the cards, but at the same time, you know, I thought the right guy won the fight. I thought Tim could have been a little bit more busy. I thought he had the right idea. I thought the game plan that he had was the right idea. It was just that Tim was a little bit more too timid. Tim is the kind of guy where you got to kind of let him go sometimes. You know, you got to, you know, I understand you want a patient approach, but he's also the kind of guy where with a patient approach, I don't know how he fares because he's not as smart of a fighter as Mayweather is. But at the same time, if you let him get in there and do his thing, you know, he can give you some trouble. So although the approach was the right approach in fighting Manny, I thought I saw him trying to change range at times and trying to pick his spots correctly, a lot like Floyd Mayweather did last year to Pacquiao. Mm-hmm. But, you know, when he does start throwing his punches, Tim is not as short as Mayweather is. He's a little wide with his shots. He gets a little bit more wild. Just the smart decision making isn't there as much as Floyd is. But I saw the attempt, and I liked the game planning. I liked the fact that Tim was a bit disciplined in there. It was just, I don't know at the end of the day if that's the plan that would have worked for Tim. I think that is a good game plan, but I don't know if Tim was, if when you take Tim's best assets into consideration, if that was the plan for Tim. But nonetheless, I did think the fight was competitive, more competitive than the cards, but I thought the right guy won.
At 37, how did Manny look to you, man? He said that this might be it. He said he's 50-50, but he's leaning more towards retirement. Does he look like the same Manny? Did he look different? How did he look to you, and can he continue?
He looked fine to me. You know, he looked all right. You know, I think the whole retirement talk is just him looking for attention. I don't think he plans at all to retire. But, you know, if you say that kind of stuff, you generate more headlines and people will talk. You know, I think maybe that's him trying to do his best Mayweather imitation. You know, Mayweather said he retired and he got a lot of attention, so now Manny wants to get that same kind of attention. I don't believe for a second Manny is retiring. As a matter of fact, they've talked about, even during training camp, about his next fight constantly, you know, during the course of his preparation for Bradley. All kinds of headlines, all kinds of quotes and whatnot come out. So I don't believe for a second that Pacquiao is retiring. You know, when you talk about Floyd coming back, you talk about the possibility of Floyd coming back. But when it comes to Manny, I don't believe Manny ever retired at all. I don't think he retired Saturday night either.
And Paulie, you know, I saw what you put on the tweet. You said you didn't see the scar for his shoulder thing. I mean, did you see any difference in him from the first Floyd fight as far as the shoulder? And that tweet you said, is that something that you were looking for?
Yeah. I mean, you know, some people said it was arthroscopic surgery. I don't know the details. I just know I didn't see a scar. I know it's possible arthroscopy. But I've also heard that a deep tear of the rotator cuff, just the arthroscopy won't work. Listen, I'm not a medical doctor. I don't know. I only know certain athletes that have gotten the rotator cuff surgery. As a matter of fact, I know a close friend of mine who's in boxing. They have had both rotator cuffs and the labrum surgically repaired, and that's Luis Collazo, and you can clearly see scars on Luis Collazo's shoulders. So, you know, I was looking for that kind of thing. You know, he did, you know, maybe in the 80s or whatnot, but, you know, Collazo had his surgery in the past 10 years himself. So, you know, I was looking for something similar to that. But nonetheless, you know, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I admit I'm wrong, but I don't know. I don't know. You know, I had opinions coming from both sides on Twitter, and I don't really care to get more into the research. I didn't go to school for the medical field. I became a boxer, so I don't feel like getting into those studies.